Hey, Ferret. Also, hey, the SBR. It goes good. Warming up a little before work. Gotta finish the backgrounds and do a bunch of shading on fine print today. It's been a very busy month, but a good kind of busy. So I ain't complaining. Can I please talk about my body of work a bit? Oh, well, depends really. I started my comic work as a work for hire artist on titles like Witchblade, Darkness, stuff like that for Top Cow Comics. Kept doing that while in the background at the time I was developing my own creator-owned series, Ravine. It was a fantasy series, a fantasy spectacle with dragons and stuff. But by the time I published it, that one didn't really land. I blame that on my own inexperience in writing at the time. Kept doing more Top Cow stuff. I did about 50 or so issues of Witchblade. Did some other of their titles, while at the time kind of burning out as I was working in a style that just didn't suit me. I adapted a lot of my style at the time to match uh, styles of such characters as Michael Turner and Alex Ross, while, suppressing my own innate sort of cartoonishness. So uh, that caused a bit of a burnout that I ended up solving by starting off an online thing where I started drawing sort of fetishy jokey strips and illustrations, which then over time developed into what is now known as a series called Sunstone, which is my first and extremely successful attempt at romantic comedy. Uh, it is a mature reader's romantic comedy as it treats sexuality in a mature way. But that thing has been my worldwide success. It's been translated in about 70 languages and keeps getting reprinted. So that one really skyrocketed my career. At the time, I also developed and made and published a series written and drawn by me called Death Vigil, while a critically highly acclaimed series, it never really found a viable amount of audience for it to survive. So that one uh, ended after the first arc. Tried other stuff at the time also later. Tried to doing sort of a kind of a primer into the Top Cow universe for kind of a more of an all ages adventure book called Switch, which was basically Teen Witchblade. It was a fun book, but really at that point we didn't really know how to advertise it. Plus, there were other issues at the time. Um, One of them being, of course, just kind of the weird way that the floppy comics business operates in general. It just it made me abandon the whole concept of doing floppies after that. Uh, After that, I did some stuff like when I felt like it. Basically, it was kind of every now and then I'd do something with DC, and then after a while, I pitched a thing that just kind of was brewing in my head for a while as a series of fan strips, and it got approved, which became Harleen, which was another sort of a worldwide best-selling comic that just keeps going still. Well, not keeps going as in being produced, as in keeps selling. But after that, I did a series called, started a series called Fine Print. That one was an immense success, contrary to all odds, because it's one of those comics that just kind of gets completely ignored everywhere, like in comics industry news, but it just keeps cooking. So I can't complain, and that about catches up with the stuff I've done. I've done some other smaller projects every now and then. I've done video game works. I've done basically I did whatever kind of felt good to me. These days I'm also writing and illustrating my own novel, and I'm also writing and illustrating a bunch of other creator-owned comics, such as The Queen and the Woodborn, which is sort of a Slavic kind of a dark fairy tale romance. And I have what's it called? I'm developing Achilles Shield Maidens, which is a giant mecha spectacle, humans versus aliens type deal with giant robots. So yeah, I did a few things. Hey, Tooth. Yeah. Oh, we'll see how that Vigil second book does. If it flops, I'm just like I said, I don't really at this point worry about it much. If it flops, it flops. I'm just gonna take it off the schedule past that point, and I'm gonna focus on giving Queen and the Woodburns and Shield Maidens a try. Shooting. Oh yeah, statues, right? I also do 3D sculpting. I've been sculpting for I mean I did sculpting way before I went digital, and then after I went digital, I started taking interest in 3D Studio Max, which at the time it wasn't a sculpting program, it was a polygon modeling program, but it was a big fascination of mine. I was a big fan of like at the time ILM, as movie CG, so I wanted to replicate some of that at the time, which I never took too seriously. I took it seriously enough for a serious hobby, really. And then by the time the program ZBrush came out, that was the first program that gave me the ability to sculpt in 3D in the same way that I would in clay. And past that time, I've always kind of had an on again, off again relationship with that program, always kind of enjoying myself until 3D printers got big, and then all of a sudden, all this sculpting kind of seemed like, you could go somewhere with that. You could do something with it beyond just make a pretty rendered picture at the end of it all. So I started taking it way more seriously, and these days I'm currently working on like 50 or so sculpts. There's one is complete and being right now stress tested in every possible way for print. Uh, and will soon be released as a printable file. After that, there's gonna be a bunch of others. I got like 5 or 6 of them that are almost finished, and that maybe need like 2 or 3 days more of sculpting if I was to really focus on them. So at that point, it's gonna just kind of start rolling out one after another. So that's gonna be nice. Do I also bake pies and weave hats? Not yet. I know I'm a bit of an everything guy, but I do put my heart and soul into all of those things, so at least they turn out pretty okay in the end. Mm. How much stabilizer and pen pressure in Clip Studio? I don't know, default. I didn't mess around. Like I never really had much use for stabilizer, as I've been working in old Photoshop which didn't have it, so I'm kind of used to doing things freehand. As for pen pressure, it's just what it is. Like most of my pen pressure settings, honestly, are just are based around my what's it called, Huon. Like if needed, I just kinda will amp up the pressure so that it's less sensitive on this, so that I can work with a lighter touch. What was I looking for? This. Surely. No, this won't do, because she'd end up scraping her own leg. Look at me thinking I can do an absolute piece while thinking practicality. What a loser. Do I by any chance give master classes? I'm not a master, so I don't give classes. Nah, I don't do any of that, because I don't consider myself competent to do that. Don't get me wrong, I have skills. It's just that I'm bad at teaching others. Because turns out teaching people is also a skill. Crazy. Now, whenever I have something that I can, offer as an insight, I tend to do just that. But beyond that, I've never really gotten very serious about it. And I generally stay away from portfolio reviews because I'm a person with a specific taste, and that's a problem, really. Like, I don't know how others do it because, I am not others. But generally, any kind of a review is one person's opinions based on their own tastes and preferences at the end of the day, and it's like I cannot like something that others will like, and then people will go like, well, you see, they said it's good. I'm like, well, there you go. This is why, in general, like even with my books, right? Like really completely stopped giving a fuck about any bad reviews. I used to be like, oh my god, what if they're right? And these days I'm like, no, wait, hold on, what the fuck am I doing? Like, I have an audience that genuinely likes what I'm doing. Why would I go and chase those that don't? Like, one could make a point. Well, you can get more audience that way. I don't know if that's true though, because like if I have to change a thing that people already like in order to please a few of them that don't, then it's no longer the thing that the other people like and now they don't like it. So, that's the thing with reviews in general. You kind of start realizing that holy shit, reviews are, just opinions. And problem with opinions is they're subjectable to taste. Again, one of my own tips that I always give to people getting into this line of work is find something that's very popular, people seem to love, and it's inexplicable to you because you can't fucking stand it. You look at that specific thing that people love, and you just don't see it. You don't get it. It doesn't work for you. It doesn't click for you. Find that. Make it be your reminder that at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good of a thing something may be, there's going to be people who don't like it. It won't click for them. For me, for instance, that is The Watchmen. Can't stand it. Couldn't finish the book. No matter how many times I tried, it bores the ever-living daylight out of me. Now, that's not a statement against Watchmen. That's not a qualifier on whether or not that book is good. That's simply a qualifier on whether or not I like it. And I do not. That's it in a nutshell. So, again, going back to the topic of reviewing portfolios, it relates to that. It's at the end of the day, I can tell you something fucking kicks ass as well, and you're gonna bring it to a studio or something, and the person doing the reviews is gonna be like, I'm just completely not into that approach, into that look, that style, those color choices, they don't do shit for me. And it's like, well, fuck. It's like, I like vivid colors. You bring it to some studio guy or girl or woman, somebody who's there to review, and they're like, I was always a big fan of muted colors. Well, fuck, so that's the problem. That is why I tend to stay clear away from that, but I do give pointers, as in pointers being like, know what you're fucking applying for, know what your portfolio is for, know what you're trying to be. Yeah, that's the first big decision that you got to sort out with yourself. It's like, are you trying to be an illustrator? Are you trying to be a comic artist, concept artist, general designer? Like, all of those things bring with them different kind of priorities. Priorities for software, priorities for approaches, priorities for choices in colors, in detail work, this. Make your portfolio serve that specific purpose. Don't try to jack of all trades a portfolio. It won't do shit for you, Like, focus on the thing that you want the most and make a portfolio for that. It will do wonders for your uh, success rate with it, you know. Hey, Henke. But yeah, you know, you take into consideration. Let's say you know you're trying to be a comic artist. Well, as a comic artist, your job isn't to have to have in your portfolio every stitch and every smallest wrinkle and every smallest detail, because you're trying to present a realistic ability of yourself. Like, you know, as a comic artist, for instance, you have to test yourself. You have to understand whether how many pages you can pull off per week. You know, hell, in some cases, how many pages can you pull off per day? Depends on, you know, what you're going for. Uh, as an illustrator, the question is completely different. You know, illustrators will will have to be more theoretically sound. You know, your color theory, your composition, all those things. You know, your degree of finish work. You know, your stuff needs to look finished on a higher degree perhaps than a comic page does. Now, there's comic artists who are going to overdo the fuck out of their pages and super finish and hyper detail everything, and that's valid. Don't get me wrong, but like it's also the fastest path to the burnout city, you know. So you have to understand what you're trying to go for, you know. If you're trying to be a concept artist, you know, all those nice, cool, glory shots that you see, you know, posted online and entitled concept art, that's not a best signifier on what they're expecting from you. What they're expecting from you is a variety. What they're expecting from you is the ability to churn out a fuck ton of ideas in a very short amount of time. They're expecting strong language of shapes, forms. You know, they're expecting strong silhouettes, stuff that's instantly recognizable as different from each other. You know, so it's like there are different priorities in building a portfolio. You know, and you know, if you're gonna be a concept artist, I always highly recommend, you know, don't just focus on being a 2D concept artist. Pick up a ZBrush or something. It'll pay dividends real hard. Because at some point, you know, like let's say you're trying to go for for a video games job. I don't know why would you ever do that, because my God, talk about job instability. But hey, let's go for a video games job. You kind of have to make yourself indispensable at that point, you know. So at that point, you know, it's something like I would highly recommend watching some videos from concept artists and like developer artists for video games for that. But like generally, one of the big things that you run into is like a concept artist's job sort of ends with the concepting stage, and then after that, they're just kind of sitting there on a company paycheck. Companies don't like that, so you kind of all of a sudden become the additional texture artist, additional, you know, the sculptor for this, that, and the other, if you have the abilities to do that. If you don't, well, you know, come next firing circle, those who don't know how to fill their time there, they're the ones on the chopping block. So not necessarily always. Life is sometimes not that fair, you know. Sometimes you're just on the chopping block because, like I said a few times ago, the CEO needs a new yacht because the last one just isn't the latest model, and you can't have that, you know. So, you know, and also one of those biggest pieces of advice always: maintain strong online presence. Make your name known. Because at the end of the day, for all these companies, you're a cog in a machine, and cogs are replaceable. But if you're a cog with a name and a number and a recognizable shape, something that people are there for, well, all of a sudden, it's you're a different beast altogether. all of a sudden you have a what's it called, safety net. Because then, as a recognizable artist, you may have garnered a fan base which is going to follow you to other stuff, you know. And trust me, you want that, because to some people, you know, working on a AAA project or a Batman book is the dream. Yeah. For a smart person, the dream is to be self-sufficient without having to worry about whether or not you're gonna get put on a Batman book or a tie-in to, you know, I don't know, uh, Legion of Superheroes, hero number 52's best friend, you know? One of those things will sell and bring you sales profits later on as well because it's gonna sell enough to do that. Others may not, you know, and there's a big difference on whether or not you're paid once or kept getting paid. Uh, is this going to be another sculpt? No, this is just a painting. It could very easily be sculpted, but as like I have 50 of them right now, so you know. Listen, I'm not saying it's impossible that I may end up making this into a sculpt, but you've seen the one that I started, and it's awesome, and it's like it's gonna take a while for me to finish that one because like that one's very ambitious. Like holy shit, a suspension bondage 3D printable sculpt that's actually gonna work. And that took a lot of brain power to figure out how to make that one work, but I figured it out. So and then you get to figure. You get to slice and dice. Although it's gonna be pretty simple. That's the thing. Is like I make things that look complicated, but generally are they tend to be on a simpler side when it comes to the actual preparation. It's just that you know there's a lot of it. So next month I'm gonna crank out some progress on the sculpts because with Ali and Lisa one being pretty much done, even in the prep work for print, you know, we're gonna need a whole team to figure this one out. Yeah, but yeah, next month I'm gonna actually go back to doing 3D sculpting more intensely because I want to finish at least one of the other ones so that we kind of keep the ball rolling. With Ali and Lisa done, and with that new printer on the way, we gotta have something to test it with, you know. Nothing's Miss Lords. Hey Marissa. Now, personally, I've been having a great day so far, and I hope you have as well. No. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you gotta kind of give it attention if you're gonna make it look believable. It's kind of the inevitable part. Oh, oh god damn it. Select, edit, cut, edit, paste, layer, merge with layer below. Mm. Mm. You have a theory that I may be a potato? Damn it, they're on to me. Haha, joke's on you. I stopped developing my humor in second grade. I am still endlessly amused by bad puns. What a... Hey, Joan. Hey, Storybook. Oh, I'm doing great. Getting some warm-ups for today and then kicking off a bunch of shading for the fine print because I gotta do a lot of that today. This update is kinda twice the usual length, so yeah, it's a grower and a shower. I'm sorry about that one. That was just fucking terrible. Actually, I'm not sorry about that one. I'm proud of that one. Fuck you. There is no Linda to smack the potato. I am free. I am unchained. She's asleep. How the hell you get girls as an artist? Simple. All you need really is charm, personality, presence. So, all the things that don't really come with the art part. Sorry. So, personal development really. Personal hygiene doesn't helps as well. Today on relationship advice with Stepan. The wave of disappointment. Oh, fuck. Let's stick to art advices. You think? It's like ask a guy who found a fucking soulmate in high school how to fucking get girls. I'm sorry, I went out of the business a long time ago. Where's Linda? I'm sorry, buddy. You're stuck with me today. Shit, I felt arthritis creeping up on me from that fucking riddle. Holy fuck. Damn, man, like just make me feel older, why don't you? My Riz stats are not high enough for that one. Sorry, buddy. Just, every generation looks at the next generation and goes like, "The fuck are you even talking about?" But it's getting worse. The gap's widening. But now, joking aside, like all that stuff is literally every fucking generation. I swear. It's just like, what the fuck is this? And we all like to pretend like it wasn't like that in our times. It's like it was. Oh right, I have the fucking bloom layer up. That's why my picks are being weird. Yeah, okay. That's the problem with like when you build up too many color correction and illumination corrections as layers. And when you want to pick up any colors, like it gets really weird. Of course, every fucking generation was dumb as rocks. It's just a human condition. That's why it always cracks me up when I see people acting like this stuff is like it's the modern brain rot, and I'm like I've been a kid, I've been that age, and brain rot is more of a generational thing, and it repeats itself every time. It's just driven by different things. Can I draw oiled up Goku? That's easy. Like that is actually shockingly easy. Fucking oiled up beefcake anatomy. Come on, that's a joke. It's an entertaining joke to draw, and not entertaining as haha. It's just basically anatomy when oiled up is really fun to draw because well, shines, high contrast. It's literally artist's heaven. Oiled up Gokus for everyone. Yeah, in my case, I am just fucking disgustingly monogamous. It's just like I'll never understand poly people. Not because I disagree with them. It's just that's a lot. That seems like a lot of work. A lot. Like Jesus Christ, relationships really need maintenance. And it's like, hey, I'm multitasking. Nah, I'm good. I'm happy. That was actually one of the things that I wanted to write about also at some point. Just because of the stuff that I've heard over time, I'm like, oh, that sounds like like it'll make for such a fucking interesting story to write. Because like usually when stories about like poly relationships are done, like they tend to be just kind of like escapist fiction. And with escapist fiction, it's kind of it gets self-indulgent and kind of just very surface level. Yeah. But like I'm always interested in like, okay, I'll take a thing that everybody will on surface level think, oh, I know what this is gonna be about, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, don't worry about it. Just walk on that ice. There is not a fucking massive goddamn hole under it. And then I trap them every time. It's hilarious. Uh, for those of you not aware of my writing, basically the idea is I will take a thing that's usually delivered as shallow and produce depth that nobody expected ever, and that's kind of my shtick. It's like I find it entertaining. Just realized. God, I hate the fact that when you rotate it, this thing doesn't work in the same direction. Ah, hate it. Ah, but all right. Please, Clip Studio, please give me this one thing. Give us an option for the orientation to remain consistent and not flip around. Ah, this is frustrating. It's like playing a video game with an upside down controller. Sucks. Bad rotation. Because if the elbow is here, then the arm is gonna pop out here. And it's gonna be weirdly angled because that's how that fucking pose goes. That's the annoying thing about drawing a lot of these kinds of poses is you have to deal with some natural strange angles to a body and then that just looks weird, but sometimes from specific angles that's how it looks. And I hate it. Hey, Mukploy. Thanks. Yeah, I'm used to using the navigator though, as I always have been, like since Photoshop, so it's kind of hard habit to shake off. That's my problem. Call it a skill issue. Not on Twitch tonight. I am on both. Hey, Kranik. Oh, yeah. Just, sorry. Time spent to paint one artwork. I don't know. Depends on what I'm doing. I'm doing comic pages. I can do 2 per day if I need to. If I'm doing an illustration, I tend to take a slower time with that, just because I do these just for the enjoyment of it. So usually it takes like 5 or 6 days times 2 hours per day. So that's like, I don't know, 10, 12 hours. Sometimes 15, depending on really on complexity of a thing and just how much I'm just kind of relaxing with it, because I'm not an illustrator by profession. This is just some side stuff for me. I am more of a just page artist, comic page per page. Where did I come from? Croatia. Alright, I think I have about 2 more sessions on this one and it's gonna be done. I'm gonna finish Lisa, gonna finish details in the chair, and that's gonna be about that. Then I'm gonna finish Alan and Anne here. I'm gonna finish the Witchblade cover as well. It's a good thing I've given Alan and Anne enough rest, so now I can see what needs to be fixed on that one. And then it's gonna be that for the illustrations for the month. So that's gonna be nice. File save. Let's see, export time lapse. I love seeing these. I know. Shocking. I am destroying the meme. It's all gone now. Alright, let's see. Save. Now let's see what it turned out. Desktop. So yeah, here's all of the streams so far in a simple time lapse. Gotta love this function. File save. Okay, it's saved. But yeah, tomorrow I think I'm gonna take a pause from this a bit so that my eyes get some rest from it so that I can see the mistakes better. And instead I am going to progress on the Witchblade piece because I gotta finish this cover. File open. Where's this? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Let me see. Yep, I got a lot of work to do on this one. Still have to do Detective Sarah as well. I gotta shrink down irons a bit. Edit, transform, scale. Also gonna shrink Ian a little so that there's room for Sarah as the detective, because that's what I was told to put. So edit, scale, transform, scale, rotate. Okay, file, save. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna work on tomorrow. You sound like sleepy. Yeah, it's just been sitting around for 2.5 hours and been too lazy to actually go and get myself a fresh cup of coffee because that I'm just on one cup and that's not okay. It's a sort of a callback to Turner's cover, but also more of a kind of a complex wraparound because there's gonna be like also these like creatures, these not zombies, but they're like these like things that I don't know from the story. I forgot what they're called. So I'm gonna do that, and yeah, it's gonna be my next 1 or 2 streams focusing on that, and then I'm gonna go back and finish the Alan and Anne and Ali and Lisa one as well. So it's gonna be a nice productive month. Meanwhile, I'm also gonna fucking deliver my Patreon comics and still have to do the Crimson. Death Vigil is due next month. That one's gonna have also a longer update, so that's gonna be nice. But yeah, overall, not bad. Okay, thank you.